to another episode of the Rondell podcast, episode number 22. And today we got a special guest, Miss Wendy Hunt.
Great morning. How are you?
Pretty well. How about yourself?
I'm great. Can't complain.
Doing good on this chilly Wednesday morning. First, tell the people a little bit about yourself, like where you're from,
Okay.
and what you're into.
Okay. So, I am Wendy Hunt. I am from New Jersey. I've been here in North Carolina for almost 17 years. April 2024 will be 17 years. I moved here for a job, wanted a better quality of life for my kids, and I started doing some research and applied to be a police officer, and it took off, and I moved in the spirit and found myself down here. But since then, I've had some very extreme changes that I'm grateful for. Last year, I resigned from Greens. Okay.
Hold on before we get into that. Hold on.
Okay.
'Cause I do want to talk a little bit about the career in law enforcement.
Okay.
So you became a police officer when you got to Greensboro.
I moved here for the job, yes.
All right. Mm-hmm. What were you doing prior to that back in Jersey?
I worked with at-risk youth.
Okay.
At a teenage pregnant mother's home.
This lady and her husband Lynch, they're like Greensboro royalty at this point. Everybody knows them, local celebrities. Awesome. If you haven't seen Lynch's story, I'll put a link to his episode down in the description, or I'll link it up here somewhere. But so for the people that don't know the story, Lynch did 10 years.
10 years.
Federal prison.
Yes.
So when you came here, was he already locked up?
Oh, yeah. He was locked. He was a good... he was down. That was 2003. So we reconnected back in about 2010. Okay. So, yeah, he was down for a while.
Okay, so with you being, like, going into law enforcement, you didn't have any reservations about dating someone that was...
Oh, yeah. I would say, so Lynch and I dated when we were like 21, 22, somewhere around there. I can never pinpoint that date, but it was around then. Lynch was heavy in the streets. I was a single mom. I had one child at that time. And it just wasn't in the cards for us at that time. But when he was locked up, his brother contacted me and was like, yo, my brother said write him. And I'm like, yeah, all right. you know. Yeah. So anyway, I did end up getting in contact with him, and it was just like old time's sake. And Lynch and I have always been friends, so we reconnected, and I just kind of started writing him. And then he was pretty far. He was in Raybrook, New York, which is not too far from Canada. Wow. And of course, I didn't go that far, but I remember him writing me and telling me, hey, I'm coming home to Fort Dix, which is right in our county where we're from. So, you know, I was actively writing him, but it was not in me to take that plunge and go home and see him. And we had been talking about 6 months, and I didn't tell him when I did it, but I did the application to see if I could get on his visitors list. And I guess thinking back now, I didn't tell him because I didn't want to upset him, but I did get approved. And then when he called me and I told him, he was like, really? So I think I kind of waited another 4 weeks, and then I came home and I went and seen him. And from that visit on, we just never parted ways.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Did he have any feelings when you told him that you were about to be a police officer?
So I think he had heard, and I was when I reconnected with his brother, I would see his dad out. We were kind of my friends, and his dad friends were great friends. So I would always, ask about Lynch when I did bump into him. So he knew from other people, but not directly from me. But I'm sure he has some reservations, like shitty cops. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay. You're doing that. How long were you a cop before you retired?
15 years.
15 years. Mm-hmm. And when you left, you were a detective, right?
Yes, for 5 years.
All right. So what gave you the, the guts to walk away from a safe job to jump into entrepreneurship?
Nothing but the grace and the spirit of our God, and the same God who, like, even leaving New Jersey, I moved here. I don't have any family here to this day except my husband and my sister. She ended up moving down here for me. But it was the same spirit. I just decided to do it. Now, granted, yeah, I secured a job, but I never walked a day in that life. So me and these two kids, my oldest was 11 and my youngest was 4 years old. And God just gave me that push. And it was the same thing once again when I decided to leave GPD.
Okay. What was, I guess, like, with being an officer, you got 49 other states to choose from. Like, why
The
North
South,
Carolina?
I don't know. I honestly,
Did you
I don't know.
grow up coming here, visiting here?
I came down south for a family reunion, and I absolutely hated it.
Really?
The bugs. And it's funny because my sister, we had family down south in Florida, and she would come for summers, but I never would come because I just absolutely hated it. And I applied to Charlotte, Winston-Salem, Greensboro, and Atlanta. Of course, everybody wants to go to Atlanta, but I had never even visited Atlanta.
Wow.
But the GPD process went the fastest, so I just rolled with that.
That career is, like, really interesting to me. I don't think I could ever be
It is
a
insane.
cop. It's funny because, growing up, we would see, like, in books, TV shows, you ask a kid what they want to be when they grow up, and it's a cop, firefighter, maybe a soldier or something like that.
Yeah.
Did you ever think about that growing up,
I
or was that
always
just something?
said law, but it was criminal law. I wanted to be an attorney, but never did I think that I would be on the other side of the wall.
Was that a fearful job?
It had its moments, but what I learned, for me, it was about just being a fair person and for my people, and also for Black women. That was a lot of things that I faced in law enforcement with one being Black, two being a Black female, and the most problems that I had was with Black females.
Really?
Yes.
Well, I hear that even in the corporate world.
Yes.
I worked at AT&T for almost a decade, and the worst managers by far.
Yeah.
Were Black
and
women.
I won't say my supervisors were the problem, but it was the citizens. It was the people who I had to encounter out on calls.
Oh, in the streets.
In the streets. Yeah.
Okay.
It was the Black female.
What's the craziest thing that you ever witnessed or had to deal with?
Oh, that's easy. An autopsy.
Really?
Yeah. Baby, 4-month-old baby autopsy.
Okay. Did you ever have the fear of, like, when you walk out that door, you might not come home? Was that ever a thought?
I did. I remember my first year of training. I was on a high-speed chase, and I had this, like, big egotistical training officer. He's thebomb.com. No shade to him, but I always called him Super Cop, and he would always want me to get into the most dangerous things, and I'm like, dude, I got 2 kids at home. I'm trying to go home. But we did this high-speed chase. It was like 4 a.m. The dude was coming from the club. He was throwing guns out the window, drugs out the window. It's raining. The road is slippery. And all I could think is, like, God, is this it for me? Because, I got my training officer on the other side, like, go, 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 go. But thank God I was covered, and everything worked out. And dude was really cool. He was flirting, so it worked. You got to make things work in your favor, so it worked out for
why
me.
he didn't just pull over.
Yeah.
I don't understand why people do that.
Right,
it's like,
right.
You caught already, dude.
Yeah.
Like, man.
Yep.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons I couldn't do that.
Yeah.
Was issues like that? Is that what made you say I'm gonna walk away from this, or?
No, the stress. So before leaving, I was a detective, as you said, and I was family victims unit. So I investigated child death investigations, child abuse, domestic abuse, sexual assault. So that's all your molestations, elder abuse.
Wow.
And I saw the worst of the worst. And it's so crazy because prior to me having a baby, I was numb to it. Like, I could come home. I never talked about it. It was like me working at the mall. But once I had my baby, it's like my feelings or my senses got heightened, and I took so much personal that it just started wearing on me. And I knew, like, it's my time to transition out of here.
What year was that when you left?
That was 2000. Let's see, we're 2023 now.
Yep.
2022.
Okay.
So that was just last year.
Okay. Wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It seems like it was longer than that time.
Yeah, it does.
So that brings up another topic. Mm-hmm. How did you feel the summer of 2020? You know what I'm alluding to?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I was messed up.
With you being in that,
yeah,
and being Black, was it
That was crazy. I remember we had it was something downtown, and it was mandatory activation for us. And I mean, once again, it was the black female. We're talking about George Foreman, correct?
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
They, of course, they didn't like any police officer, and they were coming for me and anybody else. It did not matter what color you were. And that was really really tough, really really tough. And even wearing that uniform, knowing what those police officers did to this man.
Yeah.
Um, and at that time, I wasn't in uniform. As a detective, you wear plain clothes. So I only had to wear a uniform if I was working off duty or if we were doing mandatory activation. And I hated that uniform.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. It kind of tarnished the reputation of what that stood
Absolutely.
for. Was it hard for you to, like you said, being a black woman and being a woman, period, and
Right.
then black on top of that?
Yes.
Was it hard for you to reach that level of being a detective?
Well, not in the what I was working, because I was working with true victims. We got these children who were being molested or raped or abused. So I knew that one thing had nothing to do with the other. So I still did, my part and served the community or the victims. So in that realm, no, it didn't bother me.
Going back into the entrepreneurial journey, do you think being married to Lynch had something to do with you wanting to?
Oh my God, yes. I remember, and I still have to get on him to this day. Like, I could be at the gym, and after we work out, Lynch always has to give his speech, and I'm like, oh, I gotta get to work, and he's like, you need to listen to this, and I'm like, no, I work for somebody, and he didn't understand that, and it was a point where I had took a leave from work, and just to be able to really hone in on those speeches and not feel slighted because I had this on my mind. I had to go do this report, or I had court, or you know what I mean? I think that is kind of what also helped me set that path in my exit plan. But absolutely, we know that Lynch is Mr. Serial Entrepreneur.
Yeah.
And he would always encourage me or say, babe, you can leave when you want. And it was like, yeah, no, because I was a single mom, remember?
Yeah.
And to give somebody that much power was a lot for me.
Yep,
and I can be honest, in this last year, I've totally been able to have those reservations lifted, and not having to depend. Like, I always, even in my marriage, I still want to be interdependent. So it's a beautiful thing to have my husband have my back in every aspect of life, but that was tough for me. That's probably why it took me 2 years of that extra stay, because I could have been left, but it was just like, I'm not asking you for $50 to go get my hair done. You know what I mean?
And I'm kind of gonna put you on the spot.
Okay.
I know you don't represent all single parents or single women, but
absolutely, I did my time.
What do you think that comes from when you find because I hear this a lot. So someone that was taking care of their kids by themselves, if they find a husband or a man that wants to step up and be that leadership, what's that barrier where it's hard for y'all to
honestly, that's a learned behavior, and that starts at home with I'm gonna say my mom. And it was probably what she went through in her personal life, and me seeing what I would never have to tolerate or what I don't want for myself. So it was something that I saw her do, and I thought I had to do, and that didn't make it right. You know what I mean? Yeah. And then, of course, your own personal experiences. I had kids before Lynch, so I didn't always have the best support from my kid's father, but you just, if you know that this person got your back, just be open to,
Just kind of let your guard down a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I listen to a lot of podcasts and those kind of conversations come up.
Absolutely.
That's a hard thing for women to drop their guard and just trust.
And for men too.
Yeah.
Think about Lynch coming home from prison and not having anything, and he got this woman saying, okay, I got this. Like, I owned my home then. And for me to say, hey, I got this, you don't got to worry about it. Now, I didn't say he ain't have to work, but I'm a hold it down till you get on your feet.
Yeah, that's
so
hard
that
for
was
a lot
hard
of
for
men,
men, just as well as women.
How did that go? Like, you invited him to just come down, or?
So of course when we reconnected, we talked about like how's this gonna go, and I had actually started looking to transfer in New Jersey or Delaware.
Oh, wow.
And we would have had to start over because one, I own my own home. Two, maybe it would have been different if I didn't have kids, but my kids are settled here. They're doing great. So he made the conscious decision to say, hey, I'll come down there. And it was like, okay, you sure? And he's like, so I'm like, okay. So that's kind of how that went.
Do you think is this the end all be all?
Yeah. When we go home, it's like, yeah. After 3 to 4 days, it's like, yeah, I'm going home. This is too much. Either you got people thinking that we rich because we make it look good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or just the people chasing your old ghosts. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that makes sense.
So it's so safe here for us. And I don't mean like not that we're running from our past or anything like that. We have the same amount of respect and support we have from people here. We have it back at home. But, people tend to remind you of your past, and I don't need to be reminded. I know who I am.
So tell us a little bit about your business.
Okay. Which one?
Well, the one that I see is like your is it clothing line?
Yes.
Is it just like you designing clothes, or do you style people?
Yes, I do everything. Okay. So the name of my business is Anointed Apparel. And I do business under Anointed Couture Boutique. So from Anointed Apparel, Anointed Couture Boutique was birthed. And that was just pretty much doing something different in the basement. And I got an accent wall done. And when it was completed, I was like, Lynch, this wall is like too fabulous for us to just be down here playing Uno with the family. Yeah. And he was like, well, what you want to do? I was like, what if I start my boutique? And it started from me probably buying the same 2 fixtures you got here, some plants, and it all coming together. And that turned into a boutique. But with the boutique, so I still design apparel, which is custom pieces. I still do T-shirts. And then there's the Anointed Couture Boutique, where I shop outside at vendors and created this fabulous upscale boutique in my home. And with that, some of the services that I include is personal styling. So yes.
Okay. Do you have any clients that you're working with right now that you style?
I do. Yes.
Awesome.
Yes.
Are you still doing the those lady AWOL?
I'm not. I have great relationships with them, but prior to COVID, I gave a lot of myself without saying no, and I had an awakening. I don't have to do it all, and I don't have to save everybody, because it was during that time I had nobody to save me, so I learned to put me first. So, the love is still there. So anything that I do. I still have my women's empowerment brunches and other activities, so they are free to come and be a part of, but no, I don't do all of that anymore.
So when I ask about your business, you said which one? So,
oh yeah.
What do I not know about?
Because I run AWOL Fitness.
Okay.
Of course, I say that in jokes, but no.
Yeah.
Of course, when I was the police, I really couldn't give a lot of time to that. But now that I have the pleasure of creating my own schedule, I am a integral part of AWOL Fitness now. And that was a lot on my husband, and I think he made it look good. And then when I seen him going through stuff, I'm like, what's going on? And then when I would see that it's, kind of a lot, he kind of just was like, I got this going, I got that. And I'm like, okay, let me help you with this. So that it's an honor to really work hand by hand and side by side with Lynch with AWOL, and just restructuring. And I love where it's going. And we're looking for a new space.
Yeah, he showed me the potential building.
Is that not amazing? When I tell you that is in my prayer every day.
That'd be dope.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he said it wasn't too far from here.
Yeah, not at all. Yeah.
So with AWOL, I was kind of there from the beginning. Like I met him when he was at the Rush.
Yeah.
Do you ever just stop and think about the fact that you guys were training people out of your garage to like where
Absolutely.
where it's came to now.
Yeah,
Like,
absolutely.
that's the power of just, keeping it going, man. If you got a dream, just keep following it. Like
Absolutely.
how does it feel? Like I said, you guys are kind of local celebrities. Like,
That's lunch.
how is it being married to him? Like, if you're just trying to go out, get some dinner, do you run into people?
Yeah.
Because I'm with him sometimes, doing this.
Yeah.
People
Like,
come up and you like,
Lunch and I have been in Chicago, and we were in this was just 3 months ago. We were in Chicago at Papa Do's, and this girl's like, Coach Lynch. And I'm like, not all the way here. Come on.
yeah, that's crazy.
And I'll be completely honest. Lynch is a great person, and I understand the love and the support that he gets even outside of our home, outside of the business, outside of Greensboro. But it could be a bit much. And it was a bit much when I was, after I had the baby. And it's like, okay, you see him with his family, but they get the looks from me. I'm still, you and me, y'all.
Being a trainer, they
Yes.
attract,
Yeah. And the motivational piece that he gives,
That's powerful.
Yeah, people want a consultation on site.
That's dope. That's
Yeah.
dope. 3 kids. Mm-hmm. 3 kids, right?
Yes,
You still stay in shape.
absolutely.
How do you give some advice to the women out there that's like, oh, I still got baby weight, but their youngest kid is like 6 years old. You're like, that ain't baby weight.
Right. So the top 2 things that I love outside of my family and God are fashion and fitness. Before AWOL existed, I would go to the gym. Now, granted, I was probably wasting a lot of my money on the membership because what I know now, according, as in comparison to what I knew then. Yeah. I just like to look good. I like to feel good. I want to live forever. My mom has a lot of health problems, which allows me to combat those things, combat and prevent any future problems for myself. And like I said, I like to feel good. And working out is like that for me. It's like healing for me. And I want to teach my kids something, and for them to look at me and say, hey, my mom is this age, and, she looks this good, and I want the same, for myself. And legacy, this girl is like naturally.
I seen her in there doing the yoga with you.
Oh my God. Yeah, she can do anything. And I'm like, what? So I think now, my oldest daughter, Khadijah, she got it. She's naturally athletic. She's done everything, and she can fall off from the gym and get back in and snap right back. But Legacy, she is going to be me and Lynch's clone. Yeah. She loves it. So.
Do you have her in any type of
She's in dance. Mm-hmm. She is in dance, and she loves that. And then she does step aerobics, yoga. She can do the group chat. She does everything with us. But she's still 3 years old. But, just trying to get her to see what she like, and also she's modeling, so yeah.
I think it was around the time we put our daughter in dance. I think she was like 3 or 4.
Yeah.
And with your the boutique, Lynch told me he had to kind of give you some part of the house to set that up.
Oh yeah.
He was telling me about that.
We converted the entire basement to the boutique, and that was never my intention because it's such a big floor plan. I just planned on just doing kind of that one side. And he kind of gave me the green light and was like, no, do this. So I got like a makeshift dressing room, which is the bathroom, the kitchenette. My boutique is full service, so you're gonna get your wine and juice and snacks and all of that. So it's pretty dope. Like, I remember a couple years ago going to Beverly Hills, and we went to the Gucci store, and they gave me top tier service, and that's what I kind of wanted to replicate in my boutique. And I mean, I don't get a complaint when it comes to my customer service. And I just want women or men or whoever to come in and feel comfortable and be themselves and just have an experience with me. So it's been just that.
How do you feel about letting people into your home, though?
That's different. Mm-hmm. That is different. So the good thing is that it's so crazy how God kind of just puts everything together. So during COVID, we had to shut down the gym, and we have in the basement, we have one room that was designed as a home gym for us. So when COVID occurred, we took and tagged the walls with all AWOL logos, and we had to train in that room, and it worked. Like, we didn't know we was gonna have to do that, so we were able to shoot live videos, and bring in the trainers, and I think we even had like a good 5 people that would come in and kind of just help us with the videos where it's not the same person all the time. Mm-hmm. So that was pretty dope. But that has become the stock room.
Okay.
You know, but it's pretty cool, that even when we didn't know, that God had already put it in place for us. So
okay.
Yep.
So before we get out of here,
Yes.
I just like to kind of find out what my guests are into.
Okay.
So when you're not working out, when you're not designing clothes,
Right.
what does Wendy enjoy to do?
Wendy enjoys self-love. I am on this journey of just loving me, even as a wife and as a mother, as an entrepreneur. I just, like last week, I went to Woman Evolve, which is a women's conference. Sarah Jakes Roberts. That's amazing. That was my second year, and then that next Friday I went to go see Beyonce. So I do a lot of me, and my family is my top priority. And as long as they're good, I don't go. You know, if they weren't good, of course I wouldn't go anywhere. But a lot of doing me. You know,
yeah.
I do a lot of reading, self-development books. I practice yoga. I'm trying to think something different about me that somebody may not know. I'm a worshiper. I love to create affirmations. So it's more so, I think you can just kind of call me the empowerer, even if it's just self-empowerment or empowering others. But just, yeah.
How did you like the Beyonce concert?
I loved it. And I was never, like, I liked Beyonce's music, but I never saw her in concert. She is the hardest working woman in the world. Not in showbiz, in the world. That lady, I got so much respect for her. And I'll be going to future concerts.
Was that in Charlotte?
No, that was Houston.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. You still kind of gave me, like, I guess things I kind of feel like are
Something
still tied
you
to,
knew
like,
about me?
well, not something, not really asking like something I don't know, but I guess like a hobby. Off camera, you said your daughter was into video games. You don't play video games,
Right.
What's your favorite show you're watching right now, or a movie, or what's the last movie you saw?
What is the last movie I saw? The George Foreman movie.
I haven't seen it.
It was on Netflix.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Like a
it was pretty good.
Well, a bit like a
Kind of like the story, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I haven't seen that.
Yeah, it's actually good.
You don't got no series, Netflix, something?
Oh yeah. The Shy.
Okay, I ain't seen it, but I
yeah, that's good. I like Power. I like all drama and action packed movies. I love stories.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Well, let the people know where they can find you if they want to follow you, buy some merch.
Yes. You can find me at Shop Anointed Couture and Anointed Couture on Instagram. And my website is anointedforthis.co. Anointedforthis.co. It's been a pleasure being here. Thank you for having me.
Oh, no problem.
It's been great.
Thank you for coming on.
Absolutely.
All right. So that's it, guys. Tune in to the next episode. If you made it this far, give me a like, share this video, subscribe, and we'll catch you in the next one. Peace. Yes.